gentlemen, stop the cheering, stop stamping, and welcome to the stage the wonderful Nick Hill! Oh, thank you so much. So, I've travelled from Gloucester, and I know I'm in Cheltenham, because it's full of attractive people, and none of you are wearing tracksuit bottoms or sliders. And it's great when the MC is not local, because I think we all fucking know, don't we? GCHQ. Absolutely, he does not work as a motorsport mechanic. He's right. I am going to top trump him and pretend I'm a Formula. Was it you or was it you? Sorry, I don't know which one it was. Or was it you? You don't do that, do you? You probably. What do you do properly? You are a motorsport mechanic. Oh, brilliant. Do you really work at GCHQ? You're not like. Well, you're going to say no anyway, aren't you? You're not going to tell us. So this is nice, and we're interrupting you again to have a conversation, but that's all right. You just fucking carry on. Because I'll tell you now, he might be polite, but he just needs to have a wee. On the good ones. You want to win. It's an age thing, isn't it? Prostate playing up, is it? You're already in the grave, you've got your slip-on shoes, your fucking outfit from Cotton Traders, I mean, and you've got a Cotton Traders shirt on as well, are you two? I mean, this isn't your wife, is it? Come on. If you want to come out, just do it now. Come out together. You've both got badges on which says, you're fucking looking to see? I am gay. Is this your dad? I love you. Thank you very much. Go and have a wee. Right, so what we've now got to do is we're going to have to wait 20 minutes for him to have a piss. Because that's what happens when you get to our time of life. Oh dear God. This is very nice. I am an award-winning comedian. I went to Leicester this year and I won the Silver Stand-Up Award. Yeah, right. Okay. Let me temper that, right? Basically, it's an award for the over 55s in comedy. That's it. It's not as I know, but it's all right. There's no upper age limit. Backstage, it was like God's waiting room for comedians. One act, he was about to go on. We looked at him, eyes closed, sat in the chair. We're thinking, oh shit, is he asleep or dead? Somebody said, should we wake him? I said, no, because I'll just increase our chances. I got through to the final, I did my 5 minutes, and I won, and I phoned my wife, and I said, you're never going to believe it. After 4 years of trying, I finally won. And she's like, oh, that's fantastic. What have you won? Now, you would have worked out from that accent that my wife hails from Mumbai. I said, I've won a trophy. Anything else? No? 2.5 hours later, I'm back home in the living room showing her the trophy. I'm going to ask you again. Did you win anything else? No. I've been on the website, right? What about the £500 cash prize? I was gutted, right? Because I had that lined up for a special occasion. I said, what have I said all throughout our marriage? Never lie. Always tell the truth, no matter how painful. That's fine in theory. She went on a cruise at the end of April, 7 nights. She phoned me on the Wednesday. Are you missing me? Absolutely not. I was loving it. She started clutching her straws. I bet the dog's missing me. He fucking wasn't. Me and it was fantastic. I was feeding him from the table. We were down the pub. We went and got tattoos. Well, I did. And I know he can't speak, but it got to about a Thursday and he was sat there looking at me going, oh, Dad, this is fantastic, isn't it? Yep. Has she got to come back? I said, yeah, she has at some point. But we did dry January this year. We still drank, just no sex. Basically, it was sort of drink related because Christmas Day, 4 o'clock, I fell asleep at the dinner table, 1 red wine too many. She said I was an embarrassment, she was humiliated. The other people in the hotel dining room thought it was hilarious. What do you mean? Oh, that's a good joke. Jesus Christ. We did Valentine's Day, and I did the romantic thing. I phoned the florist. I said, I'd like to order some flowers for my wife. He said, do you want a card? I said, yes, please. She said, what would you like on the card? I said, just put to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? I said, that'd be fantastic. What time do you want me there? And she said, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yeah, I know. I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she came back with, I bet you don't get many gigs. That's harsh, isn't it? But we celebrated Valentine's Day, and we stayed at home this year because we're tight. And we sat there across the table, just staring, and she said, can you remember how we first met? Yeah, sort of. So, well, you had an advert in the Lonely Hearts column. I said, did I? She said, yeah, in fact, you had two. I said, all right. She said, but I only replied to one. I didn't know that. I said, why was that? She said, well, on the second one, you put how tall you were. Well, I didn't know she was height. I should have known. A week after we got together, I suggested we go to Alton Towers for the day. And she was like, I am not spending £62 for you to be allowed on 3 rides. After we got married, I got home one night. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, what is it? How do you feel about being only 9 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? She Googled it. As if that wasn't bad enough, she worked in a school. I used to pop in and see her from time to time to have coffee. Or waiting this one day, she wasn't in the staff common room. And one of the teachers said, you all right, Nick? Yeah, fine, thanks. You went for Lynn? Yeah. Do you want a coffee? Yeah, please. Do you want a biscuit? Yeah, please. Why don't you pick up a penguin? She fucking told them all. Well, they all knew. We started watching Strictly this year. I'm not a big Strictly fan, and you probably know Ellie Simmons is on there. Fantastic woman, you know, Paralympian, 5 gold medals, 2 when she was just 13. What a fantastic achievement! But I've got to be honest, I feel slightly awkward watching it. Just something about it. And on the first show, I don't know if anybody watched it, but at the end of the first dance, her partner just spun her like that across the floor, and I started laughing. I'm sat there and I started laughing. And Lynn's, what are you laughing at? I said, oh, come on. That fucking does got to remind you of dwarf tossing, surely. And she's like, I wouldn't laugh if I was you, because that could be you. I said, well, listen. I said, there is no way they are going to let me on Strictly. She said, no, I didn't mean that. She said, I meant the dwarf bit. Right, I've had this all my life, so I was prepared. I said, right, actually, you're classified as a dwarf if you're 58 inches or less. She said, and? I said, well, I'm 62 inches, so I've got 4 inches over being a dwarf, so I'm safe. And then she said, yeah, but as you get older, you shrink. We've gone through the same routine for the past 22 years. She goes up to bed, I go up to bed. Have you turned the TV off? Yes. At the wall? Yes. She's one of these people who think if you don't do that, the TV's going to burst into flames. Have you locked the back door? Yes. Have you locked the front door? Yes. At the bottom? Yes. At the top? No. And it gets about this time of year and she's like, I hate it when it gets to October. Do you? Why is that? Wow, the bottom of the bed's always cold, isn't it? And I'm like, I don't know, my fucking legs have never been down there. To be quite honest with you. But she's like, there's no romance in our relationship anymore. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, maybe when we're being intimate, it would be nice to have some music playing, just to break the monotony. So she got a fair point. So we got down to it the other night, you know, our usual regular 3-month spot. Once Antique Roadshow was finished and I'd watched Fiona Bruce to get me in the mood, and I put the first track on, Angels by Robbie Williams. I thought, that's there or thereabouts, that'll do. That was fine. I think my choice of song number 2, the theme from Match of the Day, killed it, to be quite honest. But she said there's no surprises in our relationship. So again, I took that on board. The other night, she was in the bathroom getting ready. I went to the bedroom, turned the lights off, lit some candles, hid under the bed, And when she came in, I just grabbed her ankles. Apparently that wasn't the surprise she had in mind. But she did surprise me just before Christmas, because she said, "You have remembered, you're picking me up from my work stool tomorrow." Now, that came as a surprise, because she's self-employed and works from home. But I said, "No, that's fine." So I got there at the allocated time. She got in the car. All I said was, "Have a nice time." "Are you saying I'm drunk?" "Oh, don't start. Do not start." "No, but clearly you've had one or two, haven't you?" And then I got the silence for 5 minutes. And then I got, "I don't think you love me, do you? In fact, I don't think you ever loved me." "Oh, right, okay, listen, I do, I have. No guarantees going forward. If you love me, you can prove it." "How am I going to do that?" She said, "You get on top of me now, in this car, and make love to me." I said, "Well, that's not going to happen, is it?" She said, "Give me one good reason." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do better than that, I'll give you 3. "Go on then." "Right, number 1, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 2, we're still outside Wetherspoons in the middle of Gloucester. And number 3, we've got your girlfriend Chris in the back of the car. Because we're giving her a lift home," right? And that's the thing. She's got a girlfriend. She was the girlfriend. She went away on that cruise for 7 nights that I paid for. No issue with that at all. No issue. I wanted 1 night away with my girlfriend. To spend that £500 cash prize. The shit I got from that was unbelievable. But I'm trying this year to be a better person, a little less irritable, and to be honest, so I've thought about it, and she is the main cause of my irritation. It's nothing, as you probably gathered, it's nothing major about her, just silly little things, her breathing, and if we're in the car and we're coming up to a T-junction and I want to turn right, it'll be, "Is it okay to go?" And she'll go, "Yep." And as I'm pulling out, "If you're quick." You don't want to hear that, do you? But I had a bit of a fallout, and I know I'll get irritated, because I had a bit of a fallout with one of my stepdaughters at Christmas, because we ran the conversation and I inadvertently used the word Eskimo. Right? Now, I'm at a certain age where that's what I've always called them. And she said, "The thing is, that is so discriminatory." I said, "Nia, it's just a word, I've always used it." "Yeah, but the thing is, you've never been discriminated against, have you?" I said, "Sorry?" She said, "You've never experienced discrimination." I said, "Right, let me tell you this. Earlier this year, I applied for a gig in Bristol. It said, acts wanted, particularly those of LGBT or POC persuasion. I phoned up, I said, "I'm interested in the gig." They said, "Are you LGBT?" I said, "No, I'm not." They said, "Are you POC?" I said, "I have no idea, because I don't know what it means." They said, "A person of colour." I said, "Yes, I am." They said, "What colour are you?" I said, "Ginger." They put the phone down. Right? If that is not discrimination, because I did suffer, I suffered as a kid being ginger. Mostly the name calling, copper nog, ginger nut, you little ginger tosser. And I can remember saying, "Dad, just leave it out." I was thinking about my dad the other day, because I was watching something on YouTube. It was a rerun of World of Sport, and there's probably certain people in this room that will remember this, but on a Saturday you used to have World of Sport, and at 4 o'clock they used to have wrestling on, and this was proper wrestling with proper wrestlers, not like the crap you've got now. And one of the aims of that was to pin your opponent down, pin his shoulders down for the count of 3, and if you did that you won. And afterwards me and my dad always used to have a wrestle, and I used to try and pin his shoulders down, and at the last minute he'd go 1, 2, and he'd always pop his shoulder up. And I think what he was trying to do was teach me a life lesson, and that being, no matter how hard things get, if you keep persevering, eventually you'll pin that proverbial shoulder to the floor. And he was right, because I can remember the elation I felt when I finally pinned him to the floor for the count of 3. To be honest, he was 86 and in a care home, but it wasn't just my dad. I can remember just January 1963, I was 5. We'd just gone back to school after the Christmas holidays, and I come home and said, "Mum, all the other boys in my class were talking about the presents they had Christmas Day. She's like, and? I said, well, I didn't get any, did I? She said, no, you didn't. And there's a very good reason for that. I said, what's that? And she looked me straight in the eye. I was 5. She looked me straight in the eye and said, Santa don't stop for ginger kids. Harsh, isn't it? To be fair, I've had 2 ginger kids. Saved me a fucking fortune at Christmas. Best advice anybody could ever give me. It's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. So I don't mind telling you, like, I'm sort of 64 now, and I hate it, right? It's just horrible. And I got to 50, I was right at 50, because what happens when you're 50 is there's a specific call centre, there's a 50-year-old call centre, and when you're 50, they know you're 50, I don't know how, but they know, and they just send you out stuff about free life assurance and a Parker pen. That was fine. I could deal with that, absolutely no problem. What happens when you get to 60, different call centre, and they send you out fucking funeral plans, and it's harsh. It is really harsh. I know a little bit about funeral plans because my mum died in 2019, and she had a funeral plan with the co-op, and I had to go and sort it out. Her only surviving son had to go and sort it out, and I went and see the lady at the co-op. Said, "Oh, I'm Jean Hill's son." "Oh, right, yeah. You come talk about a funeral?" "Yeah." "By the way, how old are you?" I said, "Well, I'm 61 now." "Yeah, you should start thinking about a funeral plan for yourself." I said, "Really?" "Oh yeah, they're fantastic." I said, "Well, actually, I don't know too much about it. What's it entail?" She said, "Well, basically, if you pay like 2.5, 3 grand now, doesn't matter when you die, that's the fixed cost." I said, "Well, okay, and what are the benefits?" She said, "Right, well, you can choose, you can have a cremation, a burial, you can have a church or the creme, you can decide where you're going to have the party afterwards, you can decide who you're going to invite, you can put some money behind the bar, you can decide whether you want a disco or a band, you can book the food, you can have balloons, you can have it." By the end of the conversation I was thinking, that's going to be one hell of a fucking day. I was looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it? It's going to happen, isn't it? But Mum did die in 2019. Oh, I hate this bit. And she'd never seen me do stand-up. And she said, "When I die, will you talk about me after I'm gone?" I said, "Well, okay, if you want." She said, "Yeah, no, that's fine. So if you don't laugh at any of this, you've got my mother to blame, all right?" So she basically died. She had dementia, okay? And I'm not having a go at anybody who's got dementia, because I know there's people in this room who will be aware of it. It is a horrible disease. And there's 3 common traits, right? People with dementia, they get paranoid. They think there's people in their house. They lose things, but they don't. They do lose things, but they think the people in their house are stealing them, and they can wander. And Mum had all 3. And on the last time she wandered a few times, and up until then, her neighbours had always managed to catch her, put her back into the house, ring me and said, "Your mum's wandered, but she's all right, she's safe." The last time she wandered was about 8:30 on September the 19th. It was getting dark, nobody saw her. I was at a party, I got a call to say, "Your mum's gone." I phoned the police, and the police were brilliant. They picked her up literally within half an hour. Now, when the police pick somebody up who's wandered with dementia, they take her to hospital, and then they assign a safeguarding officer to her. So on the Tuesday I get a call, "Hi, it's PC Davis, I'm your mum's safeguarding officer, we need to meet, I need to see her." "Is that okay?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." So we went to Gloucester Hospital to see her, and it was about 6:30, and it was just starting to get dusk, so there was still light. We were going up in the lift, and I was chatting to him. I said, "How long have you been in the force?" He said, "About 20 years. I said, "How long have you been on safeguarding?" He said, "I've only been doing it about 6 weeks. I said, "Right, a word of advice, don't believe a fucking word she says." We got up to the ward, there's 8 beds in the ward, Mum's here, we go in. "All right, Mum?" "Yeah." "This is PC Davis." Straight away she starts, "Have you come to arrest me?" "No, Jean, no, I haven't come to arrest you." "Well, have you come to arrest him?" "No, why would I arrest Nicholas?" "Well, he's just got out of prison, hasn't he?" Well, and he looked at me to say, "Have you?" I said, "No, remember what I said?" Because of course he murdered his brother. I said, "No, Mum, well, no. I didn't murder Tim. He died in 2009 of ischemic heart disease. Can you remember that? Well, you would say that. But by now, the level in the room had dropped. People were listening in. And I was thinking, what the hell is she going to say next?